Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Finch's Flight. In the last episode, we started construction on Galen's Grove, where Galen is going to be able to watch after all of our resources. And as you can see, we're doing a pretty good job of collecting these herbs so far. We actually have more herbs to our name now than I'm pretty sure we have ever seen in the Feather Colony. But our job is not done yet, and we'll go ahead and drop off one of these extra little golden seals with Galen, so he'll know that we're still going to be on the lookout for many more plants in the future. We have to make sure this thing is filled to bursting after all. You have shown me great kindness, Finch. Oh, Galen, don't worry about it. This is going to help us too, because now we should be able to charge into battle with a little bit more confidence. And just in time, because it seems like the mountain cats are invading again. We're going to have to really work at spreading our lavender around the area, so this won't happen again in the future. There are a few dependable joys in the life of a soldier, but perhaps the greatest is the sights and smells of spring. Can you smell the sweet aroma of flowers? Oh, Claudius, do you have a bit of a soft side too? Maybe we want to give him some valerian in the future? Maybe he would enjoy to plant that by his den, kind of like how Griffin likes to attend to the snake lilies, though the valerian would be a little bit of a sweeter pastime. What's up, Finch? I think you dropped this golden seal. Here, take it. Oh, thank you, Griffin. That was a sneaky little gift. He doesn't want to let on that he's thinking about us after all. He doesn't want to let on that he's a little bit worried that we might be rushing into a very tough battle. But if we need to, we'll crack into that golden seal and heal ourselves right up. So the enemy cat should literally be like right outside our door, so we better charge into this one first. Yeah, I don't think they stand a chance here. The Feather Colony is pulling itself together just in time for the spring. I suppose it helps that Finch also managed to find another one of those power paws. But I do want to see if we can maybe catch a few more of these pesky little bunnies, because we know that Claudius is going to love them. Yeah, we have seen so much prey up in the highlands lately. Oh, I think maybe we could catch that one on the cliff sides, if it doesn't run straight off the screen. There we go, it's getting itself caught up in those trees, so we can jump in and take it home for Claudius. One of the many, many reasons why I do prefer to hunt up in the highlands. I'm glad that we have this place under our control now. Now one more bunny for the road, before we go down to the next battle in our journeys. Oh, did they send in more reinforcements? Are you guys okay? Oh my gosh, they took out our other guards? Oh, hopefully we're going to have more reinforcements. Stacy and Gunther, please help Finch, okay? I think we're going to need a little bit of a hand here. Hopefully they'll notice. Oh my gosh, Gunther completely demolished that cat. You're a lot stronger than I took you for. Well, luckily we still don't need to heal up, but we should have Finch munch on a little bit of a lunch before he goes down to the next battle. And in fact, before we leave this area, I am actually going to spread around that lavender, so hopefully the mountain domain will be less likely to use this place for their battles. Unless they take over this tile again, we shouldn't have to worry about any more fights breaking out right next to the heart of our territory. But we're wasting daylight here. We still have to find a couple more of those catnip plants, so we can bring them down to the forest colony next. We are super, super close to getting on their good side, and then we should be able to roam freely through their territory too. And that's where we should be able to find plenty more herbs to bring back to Galen. Let's go behind these cats though, so we can slap them from behind. Hopefully they won't notice. Well, I think they actually took out all of our cats. Okay, so it will be time for us to summon our allies again as soon as our ability recharges. These cats are a little bit slower than usual. I think they've kind of been tired out. Oh, until we took out that one. Tiny was really, really upset with us. That must have been her best friend. Oh, I'm sorry, but we have to ask you to leave. We can't let the mountain domain run wild around here. What sort of leaders would we be if we didn't defend our own home? Well, good thing Griffin gave us that extra little golden seal. I think we'll go ahead and use that. something to remind Finch of all of the friends that he has back home. Yeah, Griffin has really warmed up to us very, very quickly. I'm quite impressed by how quickly Finch was able to make friends with him, in fact. And it's all thanks to their similar interests. They both love frogs, of course. That was kind of what sealed the deal, I feel. Once Finch realized that the frogs were the key to Griffin's heart, it was all uphill from there. But let's try to figure out if we can remember where any more of the catnip would be. I'm pretty sure there's something in the river islet, there's some golden seal, something to replace our resources, a little dove that we can scoop up and sell off to Coco. Oh, and enemy cats too, coming after that catnip, of course. They must have heard that there was treasure here for the taking, but we were just a little bit faster than Paige. So get on out of here. There's nothing left for you to have. And if we can manage to get over to the forest colony fast enough, we should now have enough catnip in our pockets to start our very first alliance. Sarge typically goes to bed a little bit later than most of the cats, because unlike Claudius, he wants to keep his eyes on the borders for as long as he possibly can. I'm sure he knows that he needs his rest to stay in top form, but he also knows that Penny has his back, which is probably why he's always guarding her door. But here's the extra catnip that we promised you before, Sarge. Now we're at 73%, so one more should seal the deal. Our colony thanks you for your impressively generous gift. Your reputation with the forest colony is at 78%. If you're ever looking to join up with our colony, just let me know. I might be able to work something out. Well, we're not looking to stay here. We have plenty of work to do up in the Highlands, but that should mean that their guards will no longer attack Finch. So he's free to explore their territory, pick their berries maybe if he can find some. And we do desperately need some berries to fill our belly. So let's see if we can forage around for something sweet to eat. Or a little fish too. Finch has actually proven himself to be pretty darn good at fishing, at least when he's not starving. We might actually have to break into one of Claudius's bunnies. We are getting so very close to taking damage, actually, because of how hungry we are. And I'm just not seeing any berries out here. Something tells me that Missy must have scooped them all up to stash away inside her den. Oh, but there's a bunny. Okay, maybe we can catch this one just for ourselves. I mean, Claudius does have a lot of bunnies sitting outside his den, so surely he wouldn't miss one. Though then again, we do still have some berries by our bedside. Yeah, all of these little berries that we stashed away, and the licorice roots too. So go ahead and munch on this sweet little treat. So you should be ready to curl up for bed and prepare for tomorrow, when you're going to be doing a lot of bird hunting, just like your mother, Finch. Following in her footsteps now. I'm sure she would be very proud of you. The cats of the far north rarely have friends that are as close as you and I are. It is a great sadness. I did not know it when I lived there, but now I see what I was missing. Oh, so Galen came from the north? No wonder he's set up here. He probably came from some far-off, distant, mountainous region. So the Highlands are like a second home to him. But let's go ahead and offer him up this dove just to see if he likes it. A fine gift turns a day into a celebration. Thank you. Alright, so he does like the doves. Good to know, because we are going to have lots and lots of little doves to give to you pretty soon. We'll make sure that we save a couple of them for Galen. Most of them are definitely going to go toward our Mews fund, of course, but the rest of them will make a wonderful gift. I am forever in your debt, Finch. You have provided me with far more than just a home to live in. Oh, Claudius, that's so sweet. Maybe he thinks of us as a little family too. We always figured that Finch probably thinks of his father when he sees Claudius. So maybe Finch is like the son that Claudius never had. I think you dropped this marigold. Here, take it. Oh, excellent. Now he's giving us marigolds too. Alright, so yet again, just keeping himself assured, calming his own mind maybe with these herb gifts, so he knows that Finch has something to patch up his wounds. I wonder if Griffin is a good fighter? I feel like he probably has to be. He probably got into quite a few scraps when he was out on his own, and he seems like the sort of cat who just had to fend for himself, like he had nobody in the world to lend him a hand, which is probably why he's so worried about Finch's well-being. He tries to act like he's not. He tries to act like he's far, far too cool to be worrying about Finch, but we know the truth. Now let's go ahead and scare these cats away so we can hopefully take out some of their guards, because there are a lot of mystic cats in this territory. We're going to have to work hard to take them out one by one. Let's bring Rosie over here so hopefully she won't attack too many of our cats. But we had nothing to worry about anyway. You guys completely demolished all of the mystic colony. So we'll go ahead and munch on one of our berries. Maybe use some of those precious golden seals too to heal up the damage. And then we'll leave that battle for now and instead start heading straight toward the forest. We need to get there early enough to actually do our hunting this time. Time just seems to fly by in the forest. There's always something new to distract Finch from his duties. Now the fairy wood is the perfect place for Finch to go hunting. Not only for the doves, but also for the frogs. If it wasn't so far away, I think he would end up making this trip like every single day. Maybe we'll have to consider buying some sort of special warp that'll take us closer to this place. But let's see if we can find any little doves roaming around. Yeah, they're already skittering around. Luckily, it seems like Penny hasn't been by yet today. And it might be a good idea too, before we get too involved in hunting, to consider upgrading our skills again. We have just enough experience points to upgrade our hunting abilities, so we might as well. That way we'll be more likely to actually catch these birds, and it won't just end up being a waste of time. And there's our first frog. Yeah, this is the absolute best place for Finch. Not only is it bright and colorful with all of these mushrooms and pebbles, makes me wonder who actually decorated this area. I'd imagine it was probably Lyris. Maybe this is where he likes to come by and do most of his thinking. He could gaze out over the ponds, of course, or he could enjoy the natural beauty of these glowing mushrooms. Honestly, if this place wasn't so close to the forest colony, it would probably make a pretty good place for a special colony too. There's just something so unique about it. It makes me wonder if perhaps we'll be able to plant some of those mushrooms around our colony. Hopefully there's going to be like a mushroom theme or something. A mushroom style that we can buy to install our own glowing mushrooms. It's starting to get a little bit late though, so after we catch this frog, and then hopefully this dove too, we'll see how much food we've managed to amass. Oh my goodness, look at all those doves. We have little rabbits for Claudius, the frogs to share with Griffin. Yeah, I'd say we did pretty good for our first hunting experience in the Fairywood. So before we head back for home, let's just spend a little bit of time poking around the northern portions of the forest, because I think we should be able to find quite a bit of lavender up here, as long as we haven't scooped it up yet, of course. I know we did a couple of rounds in this direction the day before, but I don't think we ended up finding too much of the lavender that the mountain domain is so well known for. Basically, if we want to get our hands on lavender, we have to go super, super close to Leo's territory. So we're exiting the area where we would possibly have the backup of the forest. Our alliance is no longer going to be in effect once we climb those cliff sides. Finch is ready though. He has the backup of all of his friends in the back of his mind, thanks to their golden seal gifts and their marigolds too. And he knows that Galen is waiting at home to patch up any wounds that he may receive with the grove that they're building together. We're in mountain territory now, so I know we have not explored this area before. We've been staying very, very far away from Leo's domain. We didn't want to step on any toes, but to be honest, with the way that he's pushing into our home, we might as well just take whatever we can get before their guards start to notice. I think we may have spoken too soon. Oh no, we're actually out of room in our pockets. Let's go ahead and eat up these berries, grab that toad and that golden seal, and then maybe try to take out some of their cats. We might be able to do it. They seem like they're a little bit slower than most, so maybe if we're super careful, we might be able to send them packing. That'll give us more influence over this area too, so it's all for good cause. Eventually we will make our territory stretch straight over to these woods, so we might as well get a head start. One last guard to go. Little Breeze, who thankfully does not hit us quite as hard as some of her other friends. Yeah, it seems like the mountain domain is starting to get a little bit lax. Maybe they're not training quite as hard, but I suppose we can't complain, because that means that it's much easier for Finch to take them down. We'll go ahead and return home though. Leave that mouse by the woods as a nice little gift for when Finch comes passing through later. And of course, we're going to have to sell off each and every one of these doves. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that right before we end up the episode, just so we know how many mews we have to work with. Hopefully this will take us one step closer to buying another cat. Yeah, that was a huge help. So hunting in the fairywood will help us not only gain mews for the cats, but also for more decorations and more styles too. We'll have to see if maybe we could get our hands on the forest style, something to remind Finch of home, and maybe the mystic style in the future. We could change Griffin's den to the mystic style to make him a bit more comfortable. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!